Hi, this presentation is based on ongoing work by me, Hanna Bergeå, Anke Fischer, and Eva Friman. And the photos that you will see in the slideshow here are official pictures from the program activities and do not necessarily show the people that I talk about. I will present research done within the research program, Mr. Environmental Communication. And this particular research is using the program itself as a case to study transformation processes for sustainable futures. The overarching ambition for this research program is to reframe communication for sustainability, because communication processes are considered part of and crucial for transformation processes for sustainability. A guiding principle for the design of the program has been to work in transdisciplinary collaboration teams. We found it interesting, therefore, to investigate this particular program, where we have collaborated with more than 30 partners, which are not all employed by universities, but from public authorities, NGOs, and companies. And I will refer to these as societal partners. The research question we formulate now is hence how transdisciplinarity works in practice in relation to complex sustainability challenges. The point of departure for the program is formulated in 5 principles for communication underpinning the program. These are that they express the need for understanding environmental communication as a multimodal and multilateral thing, rather than as linear diffusion of expert knowledge, and as performed not only by scientists or government experts. Considering both instrumental and constitutive aspects of communication, understanding this as a field of discursive struggle, and sustainability as an inherently contested concept. Complementing sustainability transformation approaches that target individuals with approaches that foreground the societal practices, social practices and structures, and taking account of the role of power and conflict. Lens to study and understand change processes is the theory of resonance by McDonald et al. And we have applied that on our material. Resonance occurs as actors successfully incorporate a way to make sense of a situation or problem, and when objects and ideas solve practical problems. Resonance is not the same as familiarity or congruence. Some level of familiarity is important so that resonance can develop, but resonance differs from familiarity in that the cultural object provides unexpected solutions to puzzles that actors are engaged with. Rather than thinking about resonance as something that either is there or is not there, we see resonance as created in interaction. And in order for this to happen, some initial congruence between cultural objects and the actor's way of seeing the world is needed. A cultural object can be a discourse or message that exists in society, and cultural objects are not relevant unless employed to solve a problem. And in line with the theory of resonance, we search for mechanisms and processes that lead people to experience resonance. And in our case, we interpret the 5 principles of communication that I mentioned as cultural objects. And we have investigated to which extent the 5 principles of environmental communication address problems that the participants have experienced, and ask what happens with those problems and concerns of the partners that are not reflected in the 5 principles. In our research, we have observed program meetings and other sorts of activities in the work packages and so on. And the material consists of observations, notes, text, etc. And all the 3 of us in the team here have been part of the whole program period and tried to make the best out of the program. But we are also self-critical now when we look at the process. I'll now present some of the findings from our ongoing research. luckily, there are examples of where we see resonance being developed. The program connects things that you have experienced yourself, so resonance here, and is credible in providing contributions to these problems. One quick example is this quote from one of the societal partners, saying that the program enables a conceptual framework that connects to the issues that we have already come into contact with and want to work with. I will also mention two more examples with some more depth. Case A, here an idea came up during the kickoff meeting in a session aimed at generating ideas. It built on previous work of one of the societal partners, and already when it was presented, it was supported by more partners, societal and academic, among which some also felt it related to their previous research experience. To different extent, it related to all the 5 principles, the cultural objects. And the idea was jointly developed into concrete activity, which later was further developed into more work, also including new partners. Another case here, the researchers draw on previous experience of the context and work with working collaborations, and also a theoretical interest to take this further. And this was much in line with the cultural objects. And the societal partners expressed this matched a need of theirs to test the applicability of the theoretical model, which was developed early in the process. And then the refinement and reflection of it was built into the process itself as joint work. This means the whole idea behind the design can be expressed as to investigate the resonance through interaction. Now over to examples where the resonance was not developed. And this could be described as difficulties of addressing problems of the societal partners. Some partners are very concerned about how to formulate a message so it gets across in media, or how to be clear and convincing without simplifying. This can be considered to be in conflict with the cultural object, the principle that environmental communication is not primarily a linear diffusion of expert knowledge. So here, as a reaction, we see what we call a mechanism that the researchers avoid engaging with the problem. Another case is when a societal partner expresses a desire of developing new communication skills or work practices. We have an example of this where a partner expressed something about efficiency, and 2 different researchers, presumably with different ideas on this topic, responded by questions, which could have been the opportunity, the start to investigate and develop resonance. But then very quickly the topic was closed due to time constraints. In this case, the reaction we see that the researcher avoids investigation and disagreement. Another finding is that societal partners expect answers from researchers rather than they want to take part in formulating questions themselves. In situations when the researchers get questions which are not resonating with the principles, they respond by formulating other questions. So a mechanism here called to move discussions into a meta level. And as a result here, resonance is not fully developed. So the chances to make the right choices increase if we know a lot about each other's ways of seeing a situation. And this is something that the theory of resonance puts focus on. When this did not work so well in the program, that was because the researchers had a theoretical understanding which was not really translated to practice, although it was originally based on experiences from practice. So for the societal partners, the principles did not resonate with the practices. And secondly, the societal partners had other more overarching problems which the researchers did not want to or couldn't work with. They did not resonate with the principles. So we hope mechanisms that we haven't identified can be used to reflect as you go, to pay attention to ways to develop resonance. Finally, what are the lessons for transdisciplinary learning then? As now I don't see. As researchers, we need to be more flexible and open to change. If not, we are ourselves not following the principles of collaboration and co-creation. And research communication, the one that happens after research is done, might also have its own right. And turning it the other way around, this also means to partly change the demand on transdisciplinarity. It might sometimes be justified to do research which we do not necessarily know how it will be used immediately. So more diversity in this respect, also within a research program, and different degrees of engagement from societal partners might be valid. And to strive to prioritize collaboration where this is a sincere desire from all partners. And then the tricky question is to identify where collaboration and transdisciplinarity is needed in the process and when not. And when it is desired and crucial, how do we strengthen the resonance or create it if it is not there from the start? Thank you.